or Germans or Portuguese, if you have a reputation that stinks, then you cannot be part of that process. If you are a Nigerian company, you must show that you have a track record. If not, what happened in power? Now we had power where people borrowed money to buy, they had no competence, and 3 years after privatization, we had wires falling on people watching soccer in Calabar, killing people, no new transformers, no cables, no. So the entire privatization process in the power sector is being looked at. The minister was on air saying this. The discos are doing their best, but there was some misalignment between the objectives and the execution of that privatization process.
When the Senate says that the Minister of Petroleum Resources should stop this about 3 days ago, and we find in the news that ENI, whose name is still yet to be resolved as far as the Malabo multi-billion-dollar oil field scandal of several years still on paper, that must have spiked some conversations within the industry that, look, when was this bid for? We're trying to discuss whether this was a concession or it was a partnership or an agreement. But we haven't heard a word from Minister of Petroleum Resources for 3 days.
Yeah, no, first and foremost, you talked about Malabo, and I talked about the reputation risk. You can be contaminated by being involved with people with questionable characteristics. So the Senate, the unions, everybody's coming in. This is a national asset. I have no problem giving it to whoever, even if the guy has a reputation problem. But do it openly and let everybody bid for it. We went through this process in 2007, very elaborate, very comprehensive. The president signed, and then all of a sudden we reneged on it. The cost today of this is that 10 years after, a decade after, we are going back to where we started. This happened in NITEL. Remember that in NITEL, Bode Akindele and others put in their money with First Bank. They paid over $1 billion as non-refundable, and they lost all of that. And today, the value of NITEL when it was sold was less than half of the non-refundable deposit, which was 10% of the value which they assigned to it. So the cost of doing nothing, the cost of procrastination, the cost of ideological backsliding to the country can be significant. This thing has to be put in the open. It's everybody's asset. Let's have some clarity.
Well, whether it is privatization or repair, turn around and bring it back to me, or whatever process, and it's good you brought NITEL, PLC of old, into the conversation. First Bank got seriously bumped, if not for its weight. I'm sure that
for doing the right thing.
Yeah, First Bank got seriously hit by what happened. And then we brought in a management company.
Yes.
I forgot the name, which country now, and of course we lost dozens of billions down the drain, and until we finally shut NITEL down and we couldn't do anything. We tried to privatize it, break it down into small companies with a GSM.
Too little, too late, it was finished.
It was finished. So under this privatization of the 4 refineries that we currently have, even if we're not going to do outright privatization, but we're going to say, come in, help us repair, manage, and give it back to us, or we're going to take it to the market for eventual sale. Some folks say we should just sell them the way they are.
Yeah. Look, whatever model you want to adopt, the process has to be clear, transparent, and accountable. Everybody should see it. It cannot be an under-the-table transaction. It cannot be an opaque transaction. It has to be done in the daylight. It cannot be done at night. This is not a nocturnal transaction.
Finally, do you think we're going to end on Dangote Refinery because it's the folks on the guy, almost $10 billion is what he's putting into that. Do you have any information about where that really is? Do you think the 2019 deadline is still possible?
It's an integrated transaction. It's petrochemical. It's what I call a novel transformational investment. You need to have guts. You need to have big balls to be able to do what it's doing. And so that's a completely different thing. Can you compete with these old refineries with that new technology? Refineries are a low margin, high volume business. You need to be really patriotic and gutsy to be able to invest in it. Nothing. The Vice President has been there, the Minister of Trade and Investment, everybody's been there. It's a novel investment. It has to go on its own, but nothing should be done to undermine that type of initiative. In fact, we need more of those, and we need more people doing those kind of things with audacity and boldness.
I like the word audacity.
Yeah.
Audacity of change.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Bismarck. We appreciate your time being here. That's the privatization deep dive. That conversation continues as the Senate tells the Minister of Petroleum Resources to put his fingers off the Port Harcourt refinery concession into Ajib ENI and Owando, Nigeria. Let's come back to you after the break. The market is still bullish. Everyone's made money in May. Let's see what happens in June. Okay, we're back on the final lap of the program. May was very bullish, what we call a runaway bull. Now we're entering into the month of June. Let's bring in Chukwuemeka, who is the head of research at GTI Securities. Is live to us from GTI Securities Trading Floor, downtown Lagos. Chukwuemeka, good to see you in the month of June. Welcome to the show.
Happy New Moon, Bosin. It's great to be here.
Very interesting. You guys are grinning across the ears, as it were, because 15% thereabout in a single month is a record in the last 1, 2, 3 years down the line. So, we're stepping into June. What's your outlook?
Well, my outlook has always been that of moderate optimism. I think I understand the fact that we are gradually making economic progress, and of course it's reflecting on the performance of the market. I just want to urge investors to be very careful with making sure that they're investing in the right companies based on principles of sound fundamentals. Because as it were, it's almost looking like the bulls have taken up 2 floors in the exchange. They are fully living in there now. They are refusing to go anywhere. Market optimism is on a record high. The market is currently up about 2.13% as we speak. And some companies, like we discussed the last time, industrial goods, Dangote Cement is currently on full bid, and it's enjoying a lot of positive optimism from investors. So yes, as much as we think that there are lots of opportunities for investors to take advantage of, we also urge caution that when market is this bullish, it's a time for investors to make sure that they are looking properly into the companies and they are buying based on sound principles of fundamentals.
If I'm going to see the market remain active, bullish as it were, what sectors would you say, well, keep some money and maybe you need to get out of others? Insurance was a major surprise yesterday, 4% north.
Yes, but like I think the last time I was here, we spoke about the insurance segment, and I told you that the major issue with that segment is the lack of capacity of the Nigerian investor to understand, and of course the fact that we do not have proper regulatory framework to run that segment. So the potentials of that segment is very, very muted, and I think that also reflects in the generality of the pricing of companies in the insurance space. But if you're asking for places where I think there are still value, of course, I still think that if you look at the average market for the other African economies, the average PE is gravitating towards 18, and Nigeria's market average PE is still at about 10 or slightly below. So there is still a lot of upside room once an investor does proper due diligence. I still think that there are some values in banking space. I still think industrial goods will enjoy some patronage. Then, of course, I think that once we're able to get exchange rates sorted properly and is sustained, then, of course, consumer goods is also a segment that I'm interested in looking at. Oh, and also, the fact that we've had a lot of positive vibes from the healthcare segment is also something that would give investors room to look into those companies that are big players in that segment. So those are the major areas we think that there are value.
Okay, it's good to start a new month with you, Chukwuemeka. Thank you very much. Do have a great day. Tomorrow, Friday, maybe early next week, we're going to have more time to drill down a little bit more as far as the market is concerned. Thank you. Do have a great day, Chukwuemeka from GTI Securities. Of course, we step into the new month, a very important month. The first question, 1st of June, where is the budget 2017? It hasn't been signed by either the president or the acting president. That is still in limbo. That's for this month to take care of. Then, of course, we have the fiscal appropriations and, of course, second anniversary of the 41 items and the first anniversary of the new flexible, floating, managed FX market. We have the whole month to talk about it. Bye for now. Do have a great day.